I'm Van.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Jalopy and... Oh, here's Booby. Ghosty. It's chilling back here. Somebody said it again in the comments. Like, is there anybody else that could care less when they introduce their lamps?
It's so amazing the things that upset people.
I know. Yeah, I mean, if it was me and that bothered me, I would just skip to the song. You know? And the interpretation, I guess.
It boggles the mind. For timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit us up in Middle America with Vin and Sori. And if you, dear listener, would like your song reviewed by your favorite band, maybe your favorite song, you can definitely send us requests on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email, vinandsori@gmail.com, Twitter messaging, Instagram inbox, all that jazz. The most efficient way to, in the comment section, keep in mind, we literally get probably upwards of 200-300 messages across all those forums a day. Mm-hmm. Not to mention the Patreon messages that you were responsible for. So, the quickest way to get your song reviewed is to join an alliance. That starts at $1 a pop.
That's not the quickest way.
Well, the most systemic way. Or you've got the $75 partner tier where your song gets bumped up immediately. But I would prefer you go to the Patreon Alliance and then you get a ticket for $1 a month. And then it starts there. And if you want higher tiers to get shirts and all that stuff, that's all there too. That video is forthcoming. This actually came from, which group was this? This is an essential song, but
I don't know where to be. One of these.
Who requested Sabotage? That was by the Epic Underground group. So this is SAVATAGE-Hall of the Mountain King. Let's do it.
Oh, well, okay. And, oops, here we're off the screen. Go. I like that one.
Wooza. That was really, really good.
I feel like that one has more of like a, okay, I can see how that one was on the list of the greats. You know what I mean?
Essentials?
Like, yeah.
Well, how did they list it? What was the genre? Is it still power metal?
I'm not sure.
Where did it go? Okay.
Well, while he's looking that up, if you're interested in one of these Sori secret shirts, says maybe you're sick because of your secrets, you can get them in the link below, and it's our Teespring, so you can partner with us that way. You can also rock this awesome shirt, and if you take a picture of me, I mean the shirt, wherever you go, and you send us a picture of it, here's Pony rocking the Sori secret shirt, and we will put you in one of our videos if you're interested in that. So
Pony's an OG village. Oh!
She is.
Okay, so
Also
this...
my favorite artist.
Yeah, she is. She really is. This is heavy power metal / progressive metal rock. I think sonically, you know, the vocal. I don't know what makes power metal. Is it just the vocals, like the is that what defines it? But we had this, and then we had the Time Machine song yesterday, and they're both kind of But yeah, I definitely see how this could be an essential. That middle part with the instrument, it wasn't a solo. I don't know what they call it. Maybe it's a mini solo. I don't know what it was, but I was thoroughly enjoying that piece.
Me too.
And you know, sometimes when you play guitar, like it's just a random thing that you're doing where you're trying to do scale work, maybe to warm up or something like that, and then boom, something comes out. Like we were watching our show yesterday, and I came up with something really.
You did. It was good.
It was really, really awesome. I completely forgot it. I don't know how to play.
No, really?
I didn't record it or anything.
Why?
But it was badass. I mean, it was so good. I was playing it without the amp, but I knew exactly what it would have sounded like with the amp, so I started rocking to it because it was really good. It's like comedians who laugh at their own jokes.
Yep.
I'm sure. I basically put that one up for Ben Webb to
knock it out of the park,
Vin,
buddy.
you dolt! I forgot. He just sent me an email a couple hours ago, and just insult after insult after insult. What's up, Ben?
You mean the comment section's not enough for you?
Well, yeah, you know me. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. But when Ben says it, I read what Ben says because it's always a very intelligent, well-placed insult. And it takes a lot of time to develop it because it was like a whole paragraph. It takes good. It's like fine wine he doesn't rush the process.
Nope.
You know?
You insult people properly. Good for you.
Yeah, you do a really, really good job. There's this other guy who's like, random miscegenated couple, you know, and he spelled stuff wrong and everything. Ben, you never get any spelling errors with Ben. Never. Never happened. Okay. What do you think of the song? What do you think the song was about?
Well, it's talking about the Mountain King. When I think of Mountain King, I think of, you know, like Lord of the Rings type of stuff where actually etched into the mountain is his kingdom, and it's usually filled with, like, gold and jewels and all kinds of stuff, maybe guarded by a dragon, I don't know. But I was like, yeah, I mean, all that stuff kind of fits, but the only thing that kind of, but he's not the only one lost inside, forever hidden from the sun, madness reigns in the hall of the Mountain King. There was a part where it was at the end when it was saying that they were all going to get called there. That I was like, wait, when the Mountain King calls, all his children come home to where I hid him, we must run. Then I was like, did I miss something?
Well, I just think that he probably is talking about himself, and he's one of the members of a band one of the members of a pretty successful band reached out to us recently in email, and he was basically saying that he's like, oh, I really liked your interpretation on this and this, but he was kind of writing and he was using spears and all that stuff as metaphors for something completely different. So that was a very interesting email to read because I was like, and he was really cool too. He's like, if I wanted to be understood like literally to the letter, I'd have written an essay instead of a song, which I thought was very,
I thought that part was cool too. I was like,
yeah, I thought that was very, very cool. So like, you know, so now like I got my thinking cap on and I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, it definitely sounds Lord of the Rings fantasy-ish.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some literary theories that I first learned about it in AP, that it's impossible to write outside of yourself. So even if you write a fantasy novels with you know, a unicorn, for example, well, horns exist and horses exist. So like all that stuff that you're writing, even if it's in another world, it's still in your world because you're just taking things from our world that don't generally go together and then putting them somewhere else.
Yeah.
The other side of that is that the characters themselves and the emotions they express and what happens to them, like they're all an extension of the author's personality to some degree. So, which
I can see that.
Which has very interesting implications from a meta-narratival perspective when you think about God, but that's a different subject.
That's what I was just thinking.
So if he himself is the Mountain King, like he's the king, but you can see here clearly that he's in isolation, all alone in here. But he's not the only one lost inside. And then at the end of it, it says...
that makes so much sense now.
It says, where the Mountain King calls his children home, to where I hid him, we must run. Refuge here.
Yep.
But I was forever on the run. So I think it's the part of him that's... like, he's a king, he's made it to the top, he's in the game, he's in the rock music business, he's very, very good band, so he's the king, but then it leads to his own isolation, which then goes to madness, and I'm assuming the calling the children home thing is how he feels when he's on at a show. And, you know, generally the audience for a rock show is always going to be younger than the singer. So that was kind of like how I interpreted it.
Oh, I actually thought you were saying something else. I thought you were saying that it was something that was going on within himself. So he was the king of himself, but he was hidden within himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about himself, but he's kind of folded into isolation because the more and more successful you get, the less and less people there are around that you can trust, to the point where you can kind of completely turn inward. You know, Lewis kind of talked about, I think it was The Great Divorce was the name of the book, but he was talking about like hell and the people in hell and what they're like and all the rest of it, and you know the whole it's locked from the inside type of thing. Hell is a place that's locked from the inside. But you know, he was talking about the madness of isolation, which is kind of like, you know, you put somebody in solitary confinement, that's one thing. But when you purposefully cause yourself to be isolated over a protracted period of time, that is a symptom of madness and will generate even more madness. You know, so I think there's a big difference between solitude and isolation. Yeah. You know, and so, you know, trying to find that balance. Remember one time there was what was it? Twilight Zone. There's a Twilight Zone episode from back in the day where the guy like had 3 wishes or something like that, and then he wished that he could be completely alone with only his books because he loved his books. And, you know, I think the genie was like, you know, be careful what you wish for, yada, yada. He's like, no, screw all these people. I don't want any of them here. I want my books. Yeah. And so the genie goes, okay. So, you know, he looks around and sure enough, there's nobody there, but there's piles of books or whatever. I'm completely butchering the story. And then, like, the last scene, you see that he's so overjoyed that his glasses fall off and he steps on them. Which, of course...
That is not how I thought that was going to end. That's hilarious.
Right, so the idea is, okay, he wanted all, but now he can't read his books. And of course you could say, well, come on, can't he, you know, feel his way down to the lens crafters and get a, you know, whatever? Sure he could. You know what I mean? But it's a Twilight Zone, so like those were his only glasses ever. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he's in a world with just that room and books.
Right. So it's just really interesting about like madness and crazy people and what it means to actually go crazy and all that jazz. And it's very, very hard to. I imagine it must be very hard to have significant relationships if you're in this kind of space where you're treated like a king and all the rest of it. You know, you always see the kind of the stereotype of the royal person who doesn't want that type of lifestyle. Yep. But then they do because it comes with certain perks. But the same reason they're getting the perks is the same reason they can't go to Walmart and shop like a regular person. I remember Trent Reznor was saying that one time. I was listening to an interview. He's like, "Yeah, man, you can't even go shopping." It's like, yeah, fam, but you know, there's the reason you can't go shopping is also the reason that you live. So you know, it's a give and take, and it's easy to talk about it, you know, from our perspective. But I bet it's a pretty difficult thing to do.
I think for me, the hardest part about all that would be not having someone that you could really trust, because I think that it's hard enough in a world full of sin to find somebody that you can trust, and even more so when you have that much to offer, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, how can you know who your true friends are? You know, basically it taught, like, I think there was like this proverb. It might have been in the Bible, I'm not really sure. But it was basically saying, like, if you're poor and you have nothing, your friends can be more genuine because they're there because they're your friends.
Yeah.
But if you're rich, people are there because they want to just enjoy the...
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's just, you know, when you're a rock star or whatever, it's got to be tough because it's like, how can you trust anybody? How can you know that you can, you know, I don't know. And like, I don't know, the more and more time that you and I spend together, the more I realize, and I see your character in lots of like different situations, like from like everything, like how you deal with people in all different aspects of your life, including people that are in your past, and how you deal with those things. But anyway, like I'm just like I can trust you, and it's good to have somebody that you can trust, and I just think that in a situation like that would be hard. It's probably like, you know, like people that join the military, and when they're gone, like a lot of times those relationships don't work themselves out, you know? They blow up. So it's like...
Yeah. Proverbs 19:4, wealth brings many new friends, but a poor man is deserted by his friends.
Oh, it's not what I thought.
The poor man is hated even by his neighbor, but many are those who love the rich. That might be it.
Wow.
You know, so it's yeah, you know, it's one of those situations where, and of course, the term "many of those who are those who love the rich" is obviously a sort of a sarcastic type love.
Oh yeah, actually, that's what I was gonna say. That's where I was actually going. Then I'm glad you said that. It's the whole like when you get something for me or you do something for me, I know that it's coming because you love me. It's not because, like, you know, there's a difference between, like, you see the way that people act around, like, the rock stars and stuff like that. It's even more obvious to me because I haven't been in this scene for very long.
Right.
And so I don't have, like, this, whoa, these are the gods, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
They're just, to me, a lot of times they're like people that play instruments and they're really good at what they do, but I don't have that, whoa, because like literally I started listening to this music like when we started the channel a year and a half ago or whatever. So, but I can see like other people how it's like people would, you know, they look like they'd cut their arm right open if they could get up there on the stage and meet these people. You know?
100%.
Yeah, so it's
100%,
like, whoa.
yeah.
And then, so what I'm trying to get at is like that, like, people will serve you and people will love you, but do they love you? You know what I mean? Like, how can they? They don't know you. So they love what you offer and what you give to them, but I don't know, just like, it must feel like a really fun feeling, like when you're standing up and the whole crowd cheers,
right.
But at the same time, at the end of the day, it's got to feel lonely.
100%. Yeah. No, I get it. And like I said, it could just be a Lord of the Rings type song and you take it literally and he's just literally talking about a guy, but then there's that theory that even if that was the intention at a subliminal level, you know, you're trying to work out issues among yourself. We'll never know, unless, of course, Mr. Writer of the Band, you could talk to us. Send us a nifty email.
Yep, a nifty one.
Yeah, so I think that we pretty much knocked that out of the park. Good job, babe. Jim Root. I don't know why I said that, but I love when you say that. What do you get the song?
It was, you know, it had like a sound to it that I felt like I was like watching a movie. Mm-hmm. And I liked the laughing that was in there, like that he captured that sound. It's a 9.8 for me.
Literally had the 9.8 going.
Really?
Yeah, I love that little instrumental part.
Yes, me too.
The middle right before the breakdown.
Yep.
Really, really good song. Sabotage or Savatage. I'm just gonna go with Sabotage.
Mm-hmm. As am I.
You can't do it to yourself, Korea. Sabotage.
Don't forget.
I was really in the Travelodge.
Send us a picture.
You just lying through your catalog.
Hey, we also
Where's
do
the blood
like if
and
you
the
want to
battle
have
scars?
a reaction done
We're
for
the ones
somebody,
the
like
judges juggle in the gavels on.
birthday, or it's
put me to the
something
body,
where
homie.
you want to
First
dedicate
48,
a song
put us to
to
them bodies,
something
homie.
special. That's also something
Brown
we do.
hand,
Send us
we
an
don't
email
play
at
that.
Vin and
A to the
Sori
K
at
that.
gmail.com.
Spray that. Lay back. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
See, this is what we do. You're always doing that. I'm like, I'm just talking over you. You're going to keep going.
Yeah, and they're going to defend you. Guaranteed.